3-1 Jonesy. Fulham take the lead through what at first looked like a bit of a dodgy goalkeeping mistake, or just more so an effort from Andreas Pereira that Fabianski should have saved. He said, he's at a tight angle there. So it's near post, etc., etc. But having watched it back a few times, that is a dream of a strike. He absolutely leathered it. It was high, aiming towards the corner, going across the goal. Simply gave Fabianski no time to get his hand on the end of it. Are you of the same opinion on that? Or obviously that was before the comeback and the positive stuff, so we'll get that out of the way first.
You know, when the goal went in, we were down the other end of the pitch, so I didn't realise actually how narrow it was for him. I thought he only just got into the box when he took the shot, which is why I thought, what a finish that was. But I knew it was a good finish. It was only when I watched the replay after the game and I thought, no, it's even better than I thought it was, because it's just a superb goal. Like, fair play to him. And it's just, I just think it's hilarious that after that moment, Pereira's game went south. It's quite funny, but yeah, good finish. I don't think Fabianski could have done much about it. Just annoying that once again we started slowly. Go 1-0 down again. Give us a bit of a job to do, but thankfully we did it.
Yeah, I honestly just at first you think it's easy just to go, he's got to be saving that, but it was an absolutely superb finish. That was 5 minutes in. You think, oh no, come on, like it's Fulham. If we even start losing Fulham, we are in trouble. And they looked really good, didn't they? They hit the bar with Dan James not long after that, and you thought, come on, we need to get a grip on this game quickly. And I think when that penalty coming the way it did, in the fashion it did, so stupid, like you mentioned from Pereira there. They're both all over Dawson. They know how good he is in the air, so they were double teaming him. Understandably, that's okay. But he clearly like blocking him off and pushing him and pulling him beforehand. The ref goes and has a word with him. It was obviously down your end of the stadium, so you would have seen it. The ref goes and has a word with him. And you think, okay, right, well, you know, as long as he watches it, and you know what's going to happen here, though. Dawson's going to steam into one of them. One of them's going down, and Fulham are going to get a free kick. Here we go. And then for him, he like wrapped his arm around him and effectively like rugby tackled him to the ground. Dawson obviously goes down, and the ref, just points to the spot. No doubt about it. And again, I told you I was watching with a Fulham fan who's going, how's that a penalty? And I was like, come on. Like, I'm the most blinkered, one-eyed fan, like when I'm watching, and I almost do it on purpose, especially when I'm watching with fans of the other team, to be a bit annoying. And I was like, come on, even I wouldn't be like talking about that. It was a blatant penalty and just so stupid.
Yeah, it happened right in front of us. It was on that side of the box where we were as well, so we could see it happening. When Dawson was on the floor the first time, and ref's gone over to and had a word, and then there was a couple of it's like 3 warnings he had. And we were going, well, when we do finally take this corner, it's going to be a penalty because he's going to touch him again. And now Dawson knows that one bit of contact and he's going to go down, because he knows after 3 warnings. And we were like, yeah, watch, we're going to get a penalty here. And just it was so stupid of Pereira. We were all just like in fits of laughter. We just couldn't believe he was just that stupid. But yeah, like it was very clear what they were trying to do. Fair play to him, being able to pull Dawson down, because he's like half the size of Dawson, bless him, but he still managed to do it. But yeah, like
Dawson was trying to stay up.
But
I can't be with you.
It was just a really stupid thing to do. I watched it back again this morning, extended highlights, and just can't help but laugh at the whole situation, because after your second warning, that should be right. Okay, maybe put someone else on Dawson, maybe swap. And instead, he just goes and does it another 2 times. And yeah, good penalty from Bowen. Just didn't keep it the wrong way, which I was a little bit concerned actually, because Leno had already pulled off 2 brilliant saves from Scamacca. I thought, it wouldn't surprise me if Leno saved this as well, because he looked like he was going to have a good game. But yeah, good penalty. And good timing as well. Just felt like midway through the first half, we were just getting back into it after a slow start, like you mentioned. It was looking a little bit ropey after they hit the bar. But yeah, good timing. And then we kind of just built into the game from there.
Well, that's what I was going to say. From Pereira's point of view, such poor timing from Fulham. If you're Marco Silva, you've got to be fuming with that because they were so in the game. They were so on top, weren't they? And they were creating some good chances and playing well. And that's why you think, well, don't do that now.
Yeah.
I just find with that, it's totally different, right? If a good ball is swung in and Craig Dawson dominates you in the air and smashes a header into the back of the net, you go, that's annoying. That's annoying. But don't just hand it to West Ham on a plate. Do you know what I mean? Because the chances are your team's going to clear it. Don't just hand it to West Ham on a plate.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I just thought it was it was just a bit silly and a bit mindless. And you'd think, if that was West Ham or you were a Fulham fan, you'd be going, "What have you done there?" And it did kill the momentum, didn't it? So Scamacca obviously gets the goal to make it 2-1. Very, very weird. Gets played through at first, and I thought he was offside because of that, he seemed to think he was offside as well. Bobby Decordova-Reid, it was the right back who was playing him on, who was in the right back position, but Scamacca is obviously in the sort of in Fulham's left channel, so West Ham's right, which was on the sort of other side of the pitch to Decordova-Reid. Scamacca's facing away from him, so as far as he can tell, he's miles offside. And he gets through, and he was almost like, and he half controlled it, and then just like it looked like he just dinked it over the keeper because, like you do when you're offside and you sort of know it, but you're like, I'll just put the ball in the net anyway because it slows the game down, whatever. And he just stood there, didn't he? Just like, and Paqueta's trying to celebrate with him, and he's like, you could just tell. So it looked to me like he just thought he was miles offside, right? A couple of people had mentioned handball, and I was you saw the replays because I was working at work, so I wasn't in the stadium, but I was watching the game, and you saw the. Notice how I'm at pains, Jonesy, every week now to say, I'll watch the game just after Audi Alias TT had a pub.
Yeah.
That's someone who
Notice that.
watches the game, yeah. Just like giving you loads of really like weird details about it just to show that I was watching the whole 90 minutes. Anyway, so yeah, you see that, and then they're showing the replays and they're saying checking for offside, and he was onside, and I was delighted then, so I was like, oh, quality. Well, that's the thing to worry about. Because it genuinely didn't, to me, look like a blatant handball. And all the replays they showed, it wasn't 100% clear. The ref's given the goal, and the VAR stipulations, as we all know, are if it's a clear and obvious error, then you overturn the decision or recommend the referee goes to review at the screen. Well, they didn't think it was a clear and obvious error. And the word from Stockley Park is that they couldn't definitively say that Gianluca Scamacca had handballed it. And I genuinely feel the same. I had a Tottenham fan next to me in the office. He's going, that's blatant. And I was like, come on. It's not blatant. Like, look at it. You tell me exactly when and where. It was only a little bit later once you've seen a few more angles and you think maybe when the ball's on the way up that you think, rather, not the elbow one. No, not the elbow one.
The other one.
Yeah, looks more clear. The elbow one, I was pretty sure wasn't. But even so, you've had to watch it like 15 times and, you sort of go, fair enough, and he was onside. What was it like sort of from in the ground then? Because you were obviously the other end by then. But it was confusing.
It was confusing because, I mean, when we saw him just not celebrating, just stand there, it was like, it shut the entire celebration with the fans off. Everyone was like, oh, what does he know that we don't? Why isn't he celebrating? And everyone kind of just killed the atmosphere a little bit because it was like, oh, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
Looked at the linesman, looked at the ref. They've both given it, and it's like, well, he clearly either thinks he's offside or he knows he's handballed it and he's waiting for the goal to be ruled out. Or he's kind of standing there a bit sheepishly thinking, I might get away with this one. But obviously where we were sitting, we couldn't see either. So we were just like, well, the fact he's not celebrating suggests that there's something wrong with the goal and he knows it.
Yeah.
So we were just waiting for it to be ruled out. We were just like, yeah. Even though they did show it on the big screen once just before it went to VAR. and couldn't see a handball, so just assumed it was offside. And then obviously he points to the centre circle and it's a goal. And then Scamacca goes mental and runs up to the fans, and it's like everyone just jumps up as if the goal's just happened again.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a really strange, really bizarre moment. But I mean, I would be if that was ruled out, I'd have been annoyed. I'd have been really annoyed having seen the replays. It's not clear and obvious.
No.
I did wonder whether maybe it did touch his elbow. The Fulham players were adamant that it was definitely handball, which again made me think, oh, maybe it is. But having seen the replays, I would have been livid had that been ruled out. I'd have been very, very upset. But yeah, thankfully, it went our way this week, which was nice because it's we've had a lot of those that go against us this season.
Yeah, well, that was it, and it was one of those. It was that just feeling of relief afterwards, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Fulham, the Fulham stance on it was an irritating one. Obviously, Michail Antonio wraps up the win with the most Michail Antonio goal you could ever.
Oh yeah.
So the ball's played over. He. As he's going for the ball, and I will note, by the way, Paulina, it was João Paulina, who comes in with a knee-high slide tackle on Michail Antonio and tries to wipe him out. All right, Antonio does volleyball technique it into his path, run through on goal, have the world's worst shot ever, which has just had Michail Antonio written all over it. Leno makes the save. Tim Ream, it was, who come and inexplicably kicked it back into Leno, which then deflected off of him into Antonio's path. And he showed great composure then, I must admit, to sell the dummy, sit Ream down, I think it was, and then slot it into the empty net. Obviously brilliant stuff. But I mean, the fact he had the gall to celebrate it, it's just the worst, luckiest, flukiest goal you ever did.
He kind of celebrated, but didn't. If you he did that little dance with
Zuma was forcing him to
Kira. But yeah, but if you actually look at it, he's not not smiling. He's like, well, I got away with that one a little bit. I was a little bit lucky that Tim Ream just decided to just kick it at his goalkeeper for a laugh.
Yeah, and the fact that he looked like he was playing Gaelic football on the way, punching it into his own path. Yeah. But I'm not being funny. That tackle from Paulina makes it changes his action, and he gets nowhere near the ball, and his boot was knee high. It's a proper out of control sort of thing or whatever. So I'm not having that it was as 100%, but that one was definitely lucky. And Fulham fans afterwards, I don't normally do this, but Don Betts, who used to work at Love Sport Radio, where we used to do this podcast, was born. Big Fulham fan, radio producer as well. He runs the Fulhamish podcast, so we followed that account for a long time, and they obviously weren't very happy about it after the game because they're posting I think one of them was great day in history, the first day ever handballs don't count in football anymore. and then they posted another one which was just the video of Michail Antonio literally playing Gaelic football and punting it with his fist into his path as he was running through on goal. And I just replied to that one just saying, well, he was protecting himself from the career-threatening knee-high challenge. And the other one, the Fulhamish pod do a thing where, excuse me, where they do a give us your 3-word reviews. So you've got all the Fulham fans in there going completely, utterly robbed. VAR is disgrace. Ref clearly blind. All that sort of thing. So I just replied from the podcast account and wrote best team won. And I normally reserve that sort of baiting for people in person, but that did make me laugh. Fulham fans clearly not happy about it. Same feelings we all had after the Chelsea game, of course. But it does feel, from a West Ham point of view, not that I'd be pleased or it'd be any consolation if you were Fulham, but it does feel like justice or sort of karma has sort of swung back in our favour after being robbed twice. We're still owed one as well. If that levels us up for the Chelsea game, we're still owed some karma for the Nottingham Forest game, I think. Although, no, you could probably say that we got that against Villa, couldn't you, with Fornals' finish? So I think
but that's not like a bad decision that's gone against us. Yeah, it
yeah,
was a
Ben Rama's goal got disallowed.
Yeah,
And McKenna should have been sent off for the
the
handball.
Villa one, that doesn't count towards ruling any of that out because it was just a fortunate deflection.
Yeah, but that was the world's luckiest goal.
It wasn't like it wasn't like a bad decision. In that he picked the ball up first before kicking it.
No, I'm talking about good and bad luck as well, not just decisions. Because we had the bad luck at Forest when we had the two that hit the bar and bounced off the line, didn't we?
Yeah, and then
could have easily
then the Ben Rama goal.
Yeah, so it's luck and decisions, just general all-round karma.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think, given the magnitude of the Chelsea one, it would take more than
two handball goals being given for us.
I mean, it would take more than just arm in arm over whether Scamacca did handball it or elbow it or whatever he was supposed to have done to undo a perfectly good goal at Stamford Bridge. But
how about this? The Chelsea one would have only earned us a point. I feel like if we're Fulham fans are saying those two goals shouldn't have been disallowed, the decisions that went in our favour on the weekend earn us two. So in the karma stakes, surely, I know the decision was worse at Chelsea, but the actual outcome as far as points go, I'd rather have had the Fulham ones and been on the wrong end of the Chelsea one because I think gained 2 points and only lost one.
I think there's a case for the Antonio one, but I've seen a lot of people today
neutrals. Behave! I'm not even a Fulham fan. It was blatant.
I've seen some neutrals today. No, not just West Ham fans, but neutrals on Twitter this morning saying that the reason why it wasn't ruled out was because it was a different phase of play. So because he's had the shot, it's hit Leno, come out, and then Tim Reams had a mare and ended up scoring from that. Because he scored from a different phase of play, they can't go back and stop it. If he doesn't have the worst shot in the world and he doesn't hit it straight at Leno and he scores, then the likelihood is that they rule that goal out. But apparently, because it's a different phase, VAR didn't check it.
I spoke to Mark Kelsey yesterday, the former Premier League ref who we've had on the podcast before. He said definitely should have been ruled out for deliberate handball.
Fair enough. I mean, but there's the saying it's a different phase of play. Kind of, it makes sense as to why they probably didn't look at it. If that's what the actual thinking, and that it's a different phase, you go, okay, fair enough. I still think that. I mean, I would have been a little bit annoyed, but I wouldn't have been like, oh, we've just been robbed of a goal there if they did rule it out for handball. The Scamacca one, I would have been really annoyed at that had they ruled that out. I think it was
because that wasn't clear and obvious from my point of view.
Yeah,
he was onside. You couldn't definitely tell that it hit his hand or his elbow. You literally couldn't from all the angles.
Exactly. So with that in mind, it's really only one goal that I think Fulham fans can feel really hard done by in terms of decisions.
And we're already winning then anyway.
So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We won.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, karma-wise, I think the least we can say now is that we're back on an even keel, I think. I think we're back on an even keel. We've got two games where we got some luck, which was Villa and Fulham at the weekend, and luck / decisions. They're all in one pot, if you ask me. And then we got two games where it went against us. So I'm sort of all right. Maybe we get we're owed a half.
I think the Chelsea one is worth 5, mate. Come on.
No, but only because it's so bad.
Exactly, it's so bad.
Yeah, but it only denied us a point. So it doesn't matter. The karma thing is all right. Yeah, it was a bad decision. The karma gods or whatever who decide all these things. They're looking down and going, well, look, it's only a point. I know the decision was bad, but you've only been denied a point. I'll tell you what we'll do. Look, we'll give you a couple of decisions. One of them that'll be a bit spurious and one of them that will be a bit funny because it'll be like so blatantly obvious. And then the goal will be really crap as well that you'll all be laughing. But you'll already be 2-1 up, so it won't matter as much. But you'll earn 2 points out of a bit of luck later on. That's what the karma gods have done, and you've just got to, you can't be digging them out, mate, because they'll be listening to this and thinking, well, if you're going to be ungrateful, then we'll just make sure next time the decisions aren't as bad, but you only earn 1 point instead of 2, and that's not the sort of game I want to be playing.
Well, in that case, then, now you put it like that, and this is the first time I've heard the Karma Gods listen as well. I mean,
oh yeah, them and Moisey.
So let me just make it very clear that I'm incredibly grateful, Karma Gods, for you to attempt to even up the bad karma we've had already this season. But I would also be incredibly grateful if you could continue that run of good karma for as long as it takes.
As we're alive.
For as long as we're alive, or for as long as it takes for you to undo the bad karma of the Chelsea game. Is that better for you?
All right, yeah, fair enough. So, in your opinion, the Chelsea karma's not quite undone yet. Yeah, I mean, the Karma Gods are reasonable people, mate. You can make a case to them. You can appeal decisions and stuff like that. So,
in their rule book, it might be it's 1 for 1. There's not one decision, regardless of how bad it is, has any more weight than the other. Fine, but I've never seen their rule book. I don't know what their rule book is.
No one has, mate. It's not publicly available, is it?
No, it's just my opinion. I think that we probably owe 2 or 3 more decisions before Chelsea can be put to bed. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Well, obviously, there's no transparency with the appeals process. You only find out during the game whether or not your appeal has been successful. So look forward to that. Anderlecht on Thursday, first of all, before Southampton in the Premier League. Anything else to note then, Jonesy, from afterwards? Declan Rice talking afterwards, saying momentum's building. Moisey was really funny in his post-match interview. He said he was asked, Marco Silva was adamant that it was handball and that it was a penalty. And he went, yeah, well, I wasn't. Which was funny. But yeah, anything else sort of to comment on that game before we move on to the Anderlecht win in the Conference League?
No, I think just want to touch on what I briefly touched on right at the beginning about Scamacca and Paqueta. Like, I thought both of them. Scamacca's probably his 3 and 3 now for him. 6 all season, 6 in 12. Paqueta could have set him up for a hat trick. It looks like those two have really connected. I think Scamacca even said that they've got a really good connection going. I just think that's so important, given how much money we spent on them and how desperately we needed a striker to come in and hit the ground running, but also someone with a little bit of creativity in midfield. And it looks like we've got that. It's cost us a lot of money to get it, but it really does feel like that's going to work wonders this season. Those two, if we can keep them both fit. That's obviously the big question, if we can keep both fit. But it's just so nice to have players like that in the squad that you just know that they're going to make a difference, difference makers. And it's just great to see a striker sign for the club and score goals. And I think Moyes said afterwards that he could have scored 4 or 5 different goals. Like, that's how good he is. Like, he can score headers, he can hit them from distance, he can lob the keeper. He's got a lot of goals in him, and they're all different goals. He's got a lot of versatility about him. And I just thought all round he had a really good game. With every passing game, he's impressing me. And Paqueta obviously is going to channel my inner Moyes and go, obviously it's going to take time for him to bed in, but he's beginning to look the real deal now as well. So yeah, just really, really exciting. And Tilo Kehrer continues to really steal my heart with every passing game, because that man is just.
He seems to be splitting opinion though, Jonesy.
Oh, mate, come on.
Colleagues at work were like, someone said on the weekend, he actually said he's rubbish.
Nah, the guy, it cost us 11 million quid. He can play centre back and right back, and he's played both this season, and in both those positions, he's really, really impressed me.
He's right back for Germany, yeah.
I think it's been one of the bargains of the season so far, not just for West Ham, but I think in the Premier League, in terms of how much you cost and what you get, for it. And again, like, it just impressed me. I thought he was really good. It wasn't one of his best games, but I thought he was really good. And he gets it. Like, he's geeing the fans up every opportunity. Really going for it every time he goes. Like, he's been near the touchline. Like, the ball goes out of play. He's like gesturing to the fans, "Come on, let's go!" And the bloke just gets it, and I love that. I just love that. It just brings a tear to my eye. Makes me so
you
emotional.
Are funny, Josie, aren't you? You're such a bright, sort of intelligent, switched on bloke. Yet there is that side of your personality that you're just as you can be really what's it called? Influenced and impacted by a well-reasoned, well thought out, logical, honed argument. Blah blah blah. You're open to all those sort of things, but also like if someone just like bangs their chest at a throw-in.
Yeah, oh, you got to love it
Game
though.
at London Stadium and go, come
Against
on,
Fulham.
to the
Yeah,
fans. You will absolutely love that, won't you? There'll be
I
cynics
do.
in there going, leave it out, mate. Just focus on the football. You're drawing 1-1 with like Bournemouth or whatever. Just
Nah,
stop all that. Just get on with it.
I
And
get
you
that.
you will absolutely fall in love with people for that sort of stuff.
I
Won't
will,
you?
yeah, yeah, I will. And like, I genuinely have. I fall in love with the bloke. I just not just because he beats his chest to the fans and gestures to the fans, to whip up a bit of an atmosphere, but like, he's been a really good signing for us. I
Mm,
think it's been a really good signing, and for 11 million quid. Someone tweeted me the other day and just said, like, genuinely, like, you don't get value for money like that in today's market for a player of his quality.
quality.
A player normally you're looking at 20-25 million quid for a player like that. And we've got him for just under 10 or just under 11. So yeah, I think he's turning out to be one of the bargains of the summer. But I think all round on Sunday, let's ignore the first 20 minutes before we got the
Mm.
penalty. Good performance. I think everyone played well. I think Souček still with a lot of question marks over him. I think first 20 minutes
Yeah,
particularly was
positive
poor.
for now, actually.
But yeah, like all in all, good performance. 3 points, 13th in the league, nosebleed territory again. Happy days.
Yeah. Happy days, mate. Exactly that. Yeah, a bit of a dodgy start for Kerr, wasn't it? Was it penalty? Gave away a
Anyway,
penalty and
yeah,
then scored an oggy.
yeah,
But yeah, sort of coming into his own in the eyes of some, anyway. The eyes of those probably. The guy I was speaking to is a notoriously dour man, and
right.
definitely isn't the sort of bloke who would be at all affected by someone G'ing up the fans. If anything, that would make him less inclined to be G'd up. Do you know what I mean? That would make him
It'd have the
quieter.
opposite effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He'd be annoyed that someone was telling him what to do and just stay there even quiet than he may have been before. Yeah, as you mentioned, 13 in the league. Southampton away, Liverpool away, Bournemouth at home, Man United away are our next games in the league, which takes us up to the end of October. And we got our final 3 Europa Conference League games starting at Anderlecht on Thursday. Before